Welcome to Ask Logic, the video series where we're answering your questions. I'm Todd Smith and I'll be your host. Throughout this video series, we're going to cover things that we're experts in. So SEO, web design, web development, PPC, social media, photography, and videography. That's why we wanted to start Ask Lifted Logic, to help serve out content to people who aren't just our clients. Because the more you guys know, the better decisions you can make. Are there, because I think a lot of questions that we get is like, for the people who think there's a negative stigma around WordPress, it's usually based around security.
Yeah.
Do you think those concerns are valid?
Yeah. So we kind of talked about plugins earlier. So the beauty and the curse of WordPress is because it's so flexible. If you have a WordPress site and you go on and you're not really monitoring what plugins you're installing and you're just picking anything and just installing it, and all of a sudden you've installed 100 plugins, just like we talked about earlier with performance, you don't know how well that was built. So the developer of that plugin could have not really built it in a very secure way. Mm-hmm. So it's not that WordPress itself is insecure. It's because it's so flexible and anyone can build a theme or a plugin. Those are where the security issues come into play, because you don't know what developers built those things.
Yeah, I will say that's like a nice thing for us internally is we have amazing guys like Aaron and Melissa and like there's the entire dev team who can audit codes, right? Or audit plugins. So I can look at it and be like, hey, a client wants to do this. We don't have the time and the budget necessarily to build it custom. Does this plugin like work? Does it make sense? Is it okay? And Aaron's like, no, that's like, it's not built well. Like we don't want to do that. Or like, no, that like I know about this. It's fine. Like I know the guy who wrote it or whatever it is. So it puts us kind of like in a nice position where we don't just like add plugins willy nilly. And that's kind of like always one of like the big things I tell clients, like you can add whatever you want to the site. It could negatively impact the site. It could affect like the speed of it. It could like affect the security of it. If it breaks the site, like obviously if we have to revert back and fix things. So there's always that risk if you don't know who wrote what you're adding. Feel free to hashtag AskLL on social media and we'll get to them as quickly as we can. But keep in mind, there are no stupid questions, especially in the digital space.